To the 7th Chang Robotics Brand Call. I'm Don Kapner, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you today. We have a great lineup of speakers today, and I'm looking forward to our conversations and your questions. Please use the Q&A navigation at the top of your browser to submit any questions, and we'll field those at the end of the call today. So again, welcome everyone, and it's my pleasure now to introduce Matthew Chang, founder of Chang Robotics, with some updates and some exciting announcements around what's happened in the last month or so. Matthew.
Hey, Don, thanks. Yeah, so it's been a busy Q4 for us, and we're super excited for some of these updates. The first of which is we are humbled once again to be recognized on a national list, this one for Inc. Magazine, Best in Business, and they picked us as a top company for AI and data, which is a core part of what we do at the company. So you can check out that press release, and of course we have reposted it on our company website. We're very honored for that, and we look forward to receiving our award next year in 2025. We also published what we think is going to be a signature work in the innovation space for healthcare. And so our own Dr. Kapner is the author of a white paper called Robotics and Automation in Healthcare. In that white paper, we release a couple new frameworks and paradigms to help healthcare leaders and decision makers think about what their own path for innovation is within their healthcare network. And the most exciting part for us is it's a 4-part series. So if you like the first one, the good news is there's number 2, 3, and 4 to follow behind. And those are in the works as we speak. We are also excited to have started the design work on a port automation system. Ports and port automation was a big topic this year, and we're seeking to do that in a worker-friendly way that empowers the labor force, such as the journeyman. So hopefully we're able to transpose that knowledge we've gained from other industries into ports and to help America have the best port system in the world, and then also to empower those port workers so they feel empowered by the technology. We're also wrapping up our robot studio. Followers of our company have seen some footage of a robotic demonstration we did at Jacksonville University, and we're wrapping up the phase 1 of that to coincide with the end of the semester for academic year. We'll be back in the spring with a new kit of technology, and we'll be demonstrating a new category of hospital autonomous robots and cobots next year, so stay tuned for that. And if you're local to the area or come through Jacksonville, please sign up for a tour. We're also deploying a new product, which is called CareBot. It's a nurse assist system. This is the first scaled robotic system to help alleviate the labor challenges and the work challenges that nurses have. And we think it takes a major bite at the nursing shortage, as well as makes nurses happier. My mother was a nurse. Our company president, Kate McAfoos's mom, was a nurse. And so our job is to make those moms happy and say, gosh, we wish we had this when we were practicing in the hospital. We're launching some major industrial automation projects in Q1 2025, so just right around the corner. You may get the sense that American manufacturing, reshoring, and the rest of it, that American manufacturing is coming back. We're very much in the mix, and we look forward to continuing to change the paradigm around manufacturing and what it looks like to make in America using automation to maximize your workforce. We're also excited that we're collaborating on a new major National Science Foundation grant to feature Jacksonville as an innovation hub. So stay tuned with that. For those that are plugged into the NSF community, this will be the largest award ever by the NSF. And we're hopeful that Jacksonville will not only be competitive, but a winning city, and that it will be a accelerant for the many great initiatives we have in the city already. Speaking of the NSF, we were proud to participate in and help kick off the largest award of 2024, which is the Engineering Research Center at Northwestern University and their Hand Institute. That institute is seeking to solve the dilemma of the robotic hand. This would come in very useful for all the humanoid robots and cobotics that you may have seen online. And so we're going to try to solve with industry challenges and the access to these great academic institutions such as Northwestern, MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Syracuse, and FAMU We are a private industry collaborator and one of the first members of that ERC. If you need access to that research, reach out to us, and we'd be happy to take your project through the Hand Institute at Northwestern University. In terms of saving the environment and making families healthier, our Go Eco product is beginning to really get a lot of attention. We've entered NDAs and shipped samples to more than 10 major producers already that are interested in how Go Eco and the novel innovation of graphene oxide can make paper 100% organic and compostable and get those microplastics out of your food supply chain. So we're expectant that this coming year will be a busy year as we start to formulate that product into companies' existing food packaging and make food safer for everybody in the country. And then we're also beginning some very exciting expansion into our healthcare practice in Q1 next year. We'll be entering a strategy contract with one of the nation's top healthcare providers to help them plan their disruptive automation that will enable providers and then provide better patient care and ultimately outcomes for patients. So that's coming right around the corner. And then in this quarter, we just wrapped up a very busy season of industrial automation design, where we designed 5 retrofits to existing factories. So those factories can produce more product at a better quality and a lower cost and help solve some of the labor challenges that we're seeing already in manufacturing by helping the workers do more with less, empowered by technology. And finally, we have enrolled 3 new, very innovative companies in our partnership program in the categories of robotics and IoT. And so we continue to collaborate with the best innovators in the business so we can bring their technologies to our clients and put that to work in industry-specific applications. So that's some updates from the last quarter. As you can tell, we've been busy, and for us, it's just a really exciting time.
Wow, Matthew, it sounds like 2025 is going to be an exciting year for Chang Robotics, and thank you for those updates. It's really exciting to see what's happening on all those different fronts. And so today we get the opportunity to focus in on the Chang Robotics Fund, and the fund itself. We just went through all the legal and SEC approvals that were necessary to get the fund ready to accept investments, and we put together an outstanding team. And today you'll hear from each one of those team members. We'll start first with Robert Sterling, the fund's CFO, and after Robert, we'll hear from Forrest Hayes, the fund director, and then the controller, Phil Hudgens. And so we'll go in that order. And first, we'll hear from Robert Sterling.
All right. Thank you, Don. I'm Robert Sterling. I'm the CFO of the Chang Robotics Fund, and I couldn't be more excited to be with you all today. I'm actually recording this a day ahead of time since I'm on a flight during this call, but I'm a passionate believer in what the Chang team is doing, so I really wanted to make sure I could contribute to this call. The reason why I'm so excited about the Chang Robotics Fund is because I spend most of my time as an investor. And right now, the investment community is seeing more changes in the worlds of business, energy, and manufacturing than ever before. Due to the ESG movement and changes in the regulatory landscape, there's more pressure than ever to reduce energy consumption and procure the energy we do consume in a more sustainable manner. Private equity companies operate more and more of the manufacturing economy, and the need to control cost and improve margins is stronger than ever before. On top of that, we have ongoing labor shortages across the economy, especially in some of our most critical fields like high-value manufacturing, engineering, and nursing. These changes are massive, and they're going to create really meaningful challenges for large and small companies alike. To address these changes, to work with stakeholders to improve margins, address labor shortages, and procure energy in a more sustainable manner, companies are going to invest an unprecedented amount of funds in new capital assets, from factories to vehicles to automated systems. By our estimates, by 2030, CapEx across the economy is going to more than double from $1 trillion a year to more than $2 trillion a year. CapEx is not easy, though. It's not just hard to get approval from a board of directors, it's expensive, and it requires something that's increasingly scarce, which is innovation. So the real reason why I'm excited to be here is that these are problems the Chang Robotics team works to solve for companies every single day. The Chang Robotics Fund is going to help provide these innovative companies the capital they need to solve these problems faster, smarter, and better. Moving on to the next slide. I spent most of my career at Koch Industries in Cargill, where I got to lead some really large transactions in the world of M&A and capital projects. I got to work with some of the best engineering teams in the world, and I honestly believe the Chang Robotics team is the most innovative, group of people, not just in the world of problem solving, but in the world of building businesses. So what the Chang Robotics Fund is going to do is allow this team of world-class engineers to make sure the innovative projects they're leading, from autonomous manufacturing to smart hospitals to really major mass transit systems, are able to get the funding they need to scale faster, create more value, and solve these really big problems in the worlds of manufacturing and energy that we talked about on the last slide. As an investor, what I also get excited about is the capabilities this fund's team is going to bring to constructing this portfolio. We've all been in meetings where venture capitalists talk about their diligence processes and their value add approach to working with portfolio companies. And some of them really are good at these things. But the Chang team has something unique, which is that their engineers are doing the actual engineering work. They're not just performing due diligence. They're working with these companies day in and day out. They're working with their engineers and their executive teams alike on how they're going to ship these products, how they're going to bring them to market, and how they're going to create value for their customers. This really is the ultimate inside advantage when it comes to allocating capital. And it's this expertise and perspective that's going to help the Chang team create value for innovative startups and large manufacturing companies alike. This is the innovative capability that's going to allow our economy overall to invest an extra $1 trillion in CapEx every year. I'm tremendously excited to be part of this journey. We hope you'll be excited to join us as well. Now on to my friend Forrest, who's going to talk about just how large some of these markets and these opportunities are. Thanks, everyone.
I want to talk about the manufacturing and energy sectors and how they're at the nexus of global transformation, facing unprecedented challenges in labor, environmental impact, and technological adaptation. Chang Robotics is at the forefront of addressing these challenges, utilizing decades of engineering and operational excellence to turn problems into opportunities. With my 30 years of experience in fund management, banking, and international markets, I recognize how impactful Chang Robotics solutions are in reshaping industries and providing long-term value for investors and society alike. In these slides ahead, we will illustrate the potential, emphasizing both the challenges and the extraordinary outcomes achievable through our investments. First, let's take a look at healthcare robotics and how we're transforming patient care and reducing costs. Chronic labor shortages, skyrocketing workplace injury rates, and high staff turnover plague the U.S. healthcare system. There's no question about this. And these issues compromise both operational efficiency and the quality of care provided to patients. What we believe the solution to be is a collaborative healthcare robot, which we call cobots, and you can name them too, designed to perform physically demanding and repetitive tasks, enabling nurses to focus on delivering clinical care and not just running errands. As Dr. Don Kapner highlights in his recent white paper, cobots reduce the physical strain on healthcare workers while minimizing the risk of workplace injuries, which costs U.S. hospitals more than $20 billion annually. With a TAM of approximately $45 billion, we believe that we can save 900 million nurse hours annually. Think about that, 900 million hours. This will reduce staff burnout and deliver approximately $28 billion in annual cost savings. Most importantly, these innovations significantly elevate the standard of care, providing the improved attention and compassion that our country so desperately needs right now. Early implementations have shown a 15% reduction in workplace injuries and a 25% decrease in staff turnover. This isn't just a financial solution, it's a humanitarian one. And by easing the workload on healthcare professionals, cobots create a better environment for both providers and patients, addressing a pressing national need for a more resilient and effective healthcare system. Let's move to renewable biofuel and turning environmental liabilities into economic assets. Most of you probably haven't thought about this, but fats, oils, and grease commonly known as fog, pollute wastewater systems at alarming rates, creating blockages, sewer overflows, and unmeasured environmental harm that municipalities are struggling to manage. Our research indicates that municipalities spend somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 30, $40 billion per year on fog-related issues, citing reports from the Water Environment Federation and the National Association of Clean Water Agencies. These numbers are staggering. But there's a solution. A cutting-edge system that captures fog at the source and transforms it into a renewable biofuel, converting wastewater treatment plants from net energy consumers into net energy producers. At Chang Robotics, we believe that we can take approximately 50% out of the cost structure and convert it into revenue streams. These systems align with global sustainability efforts while addressing a critical environmental hazard. And note that the TAM in this market is approximately $200 billion by 2030, according to our estimates. That said, we think we can save over 20 million metric tons of CO2 annually. It's a big number. In comparison to wind, the 20 metric ton offset for biodiesel versus the 74 million metric tons from solar. And solar is a fairly mature market. And we believe that this will generate more than $20 billion in cost savings for municipalities by reducing those blockages, maintenance costs, energy consumptions, etc. But there's also that revenue opportunity we mentioned. And we think that the municipality can earn approximately $12 a gallon of biodiesel fuel, which is 3x on the cost of diesel today. And at 2 billion gallons of fog, that turns into $24 billion in annuities. The key difference between biodiesel and solar and wind is that you can take it with you. It's portable. So beyond these benefits, this innovation turns a major environmental hazard into a valuable fuel and revenue source for towns and counties alike. This solution goes beyond environmental stewardship, and it creates a circular carbon economy that empowers municipalities with a new stream of revenue while combating climate change. These are wins that reverberate across public finance, energy efficiency, and sustainability. So as we drive transformation across industries, Chang Robotics' approach to investing is deeply rooted in delivering measurable results. Our proprietary deal flow gives us access to exclusive engineering partnerships, ensuring that we identify and scale only the most innovative, impactful technologies, as evidenced above. Our in-depth technical diligence gives us insider perspective, enabling us to rigorously evaluate these opportunities, ensuring our success. Our active governance, continuous involvement in operations allows us to shape each company's vision and execution. And by focusing on a concentrated portfolio and reserving capital for breakout successes, we ensure efficient deployment of funds while maintaining flexibility for co-investment opportunities. The whole point here is to maximize return for our investors. With a targeted 3x MOIC and a 23% net IRR, Chang Robotics is offering a top-tier return while driving industry-defining innovation. Arguably, there's no better time to invest in venture capital fund pre-seed and early seed rounds, and we are at that forefront. The fund's focus areas, again, are smart manufacturing, robotics, industrial AI, energy efficiency, and we are poised to unlock exponential value, both financial and societal. These are not just investments, these are solutions to the most critical challenges of our time. And by addressing these inefficiencies in healthcare and environmental management, Chang Robotics is helping to shape a future that is smarter, more sustainable, and filled with opportunity. Together, we're building a legacy of impact that goes far beyond returns, and it's about redefining what is truly possible. Thank you, Matt. Back to the team.
Thanks, Forrest. Appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody. I'm Phil. I'm the controller for the fund, and want to just kind of add on to some of the key points on this side that Forrest touched on. You know, most venture funds, when it comes to, a lot of people say that they have proprietary deal flow, and you know, you can question that. And in this case, we really do have exclusive access to opportunities through our engineering partnerships, but that's not the only key differentiating factor here. Most venture funds will come to investors and ask them to fund checks while they go and source companies and build out a prospective portfolio. In our case, we've already pre-identified and in many cases pre-vetted a lot of the companies that we plan to invest in. And that's a key differentiating factor that I just wanted to highlight on this slide, in addition to the points that Forrest already raised. Great. How does this all translate into how we actually think about building our portfolio and financial returns? We are a seed-focused fund, so this is in the earlier stage of venture capital investing, but still most of the companies that we will invest in have some form of revenue and have some level of product market fit. We're not investing in ideas that are pre-product and just a founder with an idea. We have the companies that we are investing in will have tested those and actually proven that they have interest from buying customers to actually pay for those products. That being said, we will also opportunistically invest at later stages along the life cycle of a company, but only in situations where we have a clear path to exit, and we can clearly sort of chart out that those returns are going to be outsized returns in accordance to what we're targeting for the fund, which is a 3x multiple over invested capital. Now, we also understand that venture is kind of like playing a game of poker. You have to put it down an initial wager to get in the game. But in order to win, you need to continue to bet on your hand as the hand goes on. Venture is no different in that in order to be able to deliver truly outsized returns, we need to be able to double down on our winners. And also understand that, there may be situations, we're investing in early stage. There may be situations where, a portfolio company has not performed as well as we would have liked. In that case, identifying that quickly and understanding, hey, let's not put good capital after bad. Let's focus on putting our follow-on capital on the ones that we know are going to be winners and outliers in terms of overall portfolio returns. So that's why we've reserved 35% of our capital for follow-on investments. We expect to have about a total portfolio of 15 investments, which is a relatively focused portfolio, but that's because we have such a strong kind of value creation thesis where we will be spending a ton of time going very, very deep with the companies that we work with, both from an engineering capacity as well as a management, and helping them with company building and scaling. Another kind of key focus of ours is, the path to exit. The Chang Robotics team has immense experience working with multiple Fortune 500 companies, a lot of which are looking for products that the startups that we're going to be investing in are building. So we have kind of a natural sort of exit pathway that we can place these startups into. We can start to do early tests with some of these larger companies as they develop their products, start to build them into their engineering capabilities, and really increase the optionality over time, as well as the likelihood that these companies will have a successful exit. We're convinced, Forrest spoke a lot about the impact element of the fund, and we're convinced that we can drive immense and extraordinary impact without sacrificing financial returns. I think this is a key thing to note. A lot of impact funds will say, well, we're focused on the impact, and because of that, we're willing to sacrifice returns. That's not the case in our investment thesis. We believe that we can deliver top quartile returns, which would translate into a 3x multiple over your invested capital. And for those who prefer an internal rate of return speak, that's a 23% net IRR over the 7-year life of the fund. And our ability to do that is really driven by this capital allocation strategy, ensuring that we're doubling down on our winners, as well as the deep technical and engineering support that we're providing to the portfolio to really help them grow and ultimately find that successful exit. We also will be offering significant opportunities for co-investment if investors want to come in and directly invest into the startups alongside of us. We are totally open to that. We think that the more capital that we can provide to the startups that we're working with, the better chance of success that they will have. So we would love to see investors come in alongside of us and invest directly if they're invested in the fund as well. That's about it from me. I'll turn it back to I believe Don, and thank you all for the time.
Great, thank you, Phil. A couple of follow-on questions. The first one for Forrest. How is this fund different than a venture capital firm that invests in other impact-related companies?
Well, it's different because of our unique relationship with each of the potential deals. Chang Robotics is deeply involved with each of them at some level or project. And with that, we have insights and relationships that other venture funds necessarily wouldn't have, just coming to market trying to place a pre-seed or seed capital investment. I think that distinguishes us primarily from all of the others. Those relationships and that insider knowledge and that information is critical. And Matthew has this vision where he can take the intellectual proprietary capital, the IP, the capital, and see a product fit into the market that will lead to significant returns for our investors.
Thanks for that. Phil, quickly, what does an exit likely look like for one of the portfolio companies that we've already talked with or working with? I don't think we're talking IPO in most cases. Are these strategic investments from Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies, or just kind of tell us how those exits what might they look like?
Yeah, Don, that's a great question, and one that's top of mind for investors in this space, just because their exits have been a challenge, as there have been kind of a dearth of IPOs over the last few years, and a lot of M&A and strategic buying has also been kind of squashed by regulatory antitrust concerns, whatever it may be. In this case, you're totally right. You hit the nail on the head. Most of the companies that we're going to be invested in, we will have kind of pre-identified strategic buyers for. I think in one of the previous brand calls, we spoke specifically about Kodiak Tech and Go Eco, and we in those instances we have already pre-identified companies that we think would be great strategic fits for them to ultimately acquire that company or that technology. And our goal kind of throughout the process, and one of the main values or drivers of value creation is really going to be working with our engineering team and some of those existing relationships that we have with these larger companies that have deep manufacturing needs and a lot of capital to put towards it, and saying, hey, let's start to do let's pre-identify kind of some projects where we could plug in this new technology that we're helping to build into your factory automation, as an example. And so, yes, that is the goal, is to really focus on kind of more strategic buyers. That's not to say that there potentially won't be opportunities for IPO or other exits through other kind of financial firms, such as larger private equity firms. We want to keep all options open on the table, but we do expect most exits to happen through strategic buyers.
Thanks for that. And in terms of the current portfolio, is it somewhat of an equal balance between healthcare innovation, as Forrest talked about, addressing that problem, energy sustainability, and industrial advanced manufacturing innovation, or is it heavily weighted into one of those areas?
It's a pretty equal split in terms of the current companies that we've identified. We want to make sure that we're diversifying across our investment themes, both because we think there's massive impact in each of those themes to be gained, but also from kind of a risk management perspective as well. So if you think about the key themes that we discussed: smart manufacturing, industrial AI, robotics, energy efficiency, all of them factor in significantly, and all of them have the kind of overarching overlay of the points that Robert discussed in terms of ongoing labor shortages and increased need for automation to remain competitive on a global scale.
Thank you, and thanks, Phil and Forrest, and Robert, for your comments today. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide.
Awesome. I'll take it away. My name is Cheyenne Lemire. I am Marketing Director at Chang Robotics, And as marketing director, it's my job to keep you informed about what's going on. So here's some recent features we've had in the media lately. Matt touched on many of these in the initial company updates section, but let's go ahead and jump right in. So Chang Robotics was recently recognized on Inc.'s 2024 Best in Business list for AI and data, which is super exciting. It's our second national recognition this year, and we're very grateful for it. Next up, Don Kapner, our call moderator, published the first in a series of healthcare white papers, which offers both high-level thought leadership and practical applications of robotics in the healthcare sector. It's a great read. Stay up to date with what's going on in the industry and how we project the industry will look like in both this one, and we have 3 more coming out. We've had a successful first phase of our robot studio, which if you haven't been on the brand calls previously or you're not updated with our LinkedIn, the robot studio is a showcase at Jacksonville University that people can come and tour to see our autonomous mobile robots in action and learn about the different applications. If you're interested in a tour or learning more, check out the thought leadership page on our website and you can find more info there. Matthew Chang, our founder, he joined the Fast Company Impact Council and is a contributing author in the magazine. His first article came out about the likelihood of your next great idea coming from one of the most unexpected places, and it's a really great read. You should check it out. And lastly, Matt and Chang Robotics were recognized by the Florida Minority Business Awards in the Innovation and Technology category. All of this and more can be found on our website, changrobotics.ai, and our LinkedIn. You can also sign up for our monthly newsletter by visiting the Thought Leadership page on our website. You'll see a little pop-up and you can enter your email to stay updated. That's it for me. I will pass it to Matthew Chang to close us out.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Yeah, so as always, we have a big tent mentality and a grow the pie mentality at Chang Robotics. We are always looking for new collaborators. So as you're probably used to hearing by now, the call to action is if you have time, talent, or treasure and want to participate with us, please reach out. A lot of you know how to find me directly or Dr. Kapner, or go through the website, as Cheyenne mentioned. So when it comes to time, one of the things we treasure the most is when very talented individuals choose to spend their professional time with us, helping us to build on some of the great things you hear about on these brand calls. We're often surprised that it continues to grow. And as a company, we've almost never posted a job posting. We always find folks that say, hey, I've got some capabilities and I want to join you guys to help you continue building boats. And with us being a fast-growing company and always eager to acquire expertise and talent that we don't already have, we encourage you to reach out directly and see how you can be involved. And we will, I promise you this, we will find a place for you. In terms of the talent, one of the biggest things that we're able to do is transform the industry through development of intellectual property and new innovative delivery models. So for folks that have ideas on how we can improve as a company, we would love for you to partner with us, and we would love for your talents and your unique talents to be amplified through our platform. Many experienced executives, exited founders and CEOs have elected to do that with us, and we're just honored. We encourage that, and we look to continue that practice. And then finally, treasure. Today was a very treasure-focused call as we expound on the Chang Robotics Fund and how we've created an investment vehicle that investors can come alongside us and participate in the very types of projects and technologies that we're already working on. That has been an open request that I've been receiving for a number of years, is how can I invest with you? And so we have answered that call by creating the Chang Robotics Fund. And that gives investors a direct way to participate in both technology and exciting projects, but also in the intellectual property that we think is going to change the world in a great way. We often think, what sort of world do we want to create for our children and our grandchildren? And that's what the Chang Robotics Fund is all about, is making the world a better place through technology. And we've talked about the primary principles of the Chang Robotics Fund, which are energy, environment, and workforce. For America to be the country that lives up to its fullest potential, we have to have a workforce that's empowered and augmented through technology. We already have tightness in the labor markets. And so empowering the American worker to do more and be more competitive on a global basis is a central theme of our focus. And energy is going to continue to be a talking point as we bring on enormous energy users like electric vehicles and AI computing centers. In addition to an expanding population, we're going to have to find new and innovative sources of energy that are actually future forward and friendly to the environment. So you heard about some of that today. And finally, when it comes to environment, our company headquarters is in Florida. In Florida, I often joke that our politics revolve around sand dunes, sea turtles, and manatees. And one of the things we want to do is pass on a clean and green world to the next generation and the generation after that. So we only embrace technologies that are going to have a net positive benefit to the environment over the long term. I appreciate your time. And Don, I'll have you close us out, please.
Thank you, Matthew, and thanks to everyone who contributed today. It was great to hear from Robert, Forrest, and Phil. As you saw, they have great experience and have successfully launched funds, impact funds, and funds related to the one that we have launched here at Chang Robotics, and we're very excited to update that we are live as a fund. We've completed all the steps necessary, and we've done that in record time. And look forward. We've already been talking to investors, and we look forward to talking to more of you. And as you have ideas for us, folks that we should talk with, please let me know directly and or anyone on our team, and we will immediately respond. We appreciate everyone's time today, and we look forward to all of you participating in one way or another. Let's stop for a second and see if there are any questions before we end today's call.
I believe you may have answered this one, Don, but can you specifically address who we should contact for more information about getting involved with the fund specifically?
You could contact me directly, and I will personally respond back to you. Anyone on the call also is you can find their contact information, but contact me directly, DCAPENER, or just Don at the CR Fund. So I look forward to hearing from a lot of you. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, I see one more. Says, I heard about CareBot as a health system. How do we get started on innovation journey with robotics in our clinical settings? That's
a great question. I don't know if Matthew, you wanna take that one?
Thanks, Don. I'll cover that. So the best way to get started, healthcare organizations, especially hospitals, are large and complicated. There's a lot of executives and champions, and there's an even larger workforce. They're all highly trained and highly educated. Strategy roadmap. That is a service that we provide, which is helping healthcare organizations deliver their strategy roadmap. And once they have a strategy on what the different modes of care are and an understanding of what the technology is available today, and also in the midterm and say the next 3 to 5 years, they're going to come online, it helps the executives and decision makers within a healthcare organization prioritize and plan their investments into the space. And that's critical because one thing that organizations can least afford is failed deployments. They're expensive and they're embarrassing. So we want to help lay out the roadmap for each hospital network so that they have a clear understanding of where the opportunities are and what technologies they may want to champion. And so that's something that we can lay out for a company over a period of months of collaboration, and then identify pilot projects. the last thing we want to do is drop a lot of high-end technology on a very sophisticated workforce that doesn't understand it. So pilot projects are a great way, both internally and externally, to advertise the change in mindset that is happening at a healthcare organization. And then after the pilot projects are complete and the workforce's understanding of the change that's coming and embracing of that change, then we can move into scale deployments. So we see it really as a three-step process, Don, is first, develop your strategy informed by people that actually know how technology works and how it's deployed. Number two, pilot some technologies so that people can actually see it working and you create a positive internal buzz at your organization. And then number three, scale it so you get the financial and care benefits and outcomes benefits in your healthcare organization. And for early champions, they have the chance to totally be leaders in their marketplace. This is a very nascent concept of including workforce automation in the healthcare industry. And so for early adopters, they can be the first ones in their cities or their regions to take these positive steps, which we think creates a lot of positive marketing buzz, a lot of interest from the community, and then, of course, a more satisfied workforce who doesn't have to work as hard and provides better patient care.
Thank you, Matthew. That's super helpful, and we appreciate again everybody's engagement. And there were some great questions today, so we appreciate those and look forward to following up with all of you. Thank you again for your participation today, and we will be back 1 month from now, 1 month from today, and look forward to providing some new and updates and ideas, and give you a progress report on how we're doing in terms of progress with portfolio companies. Look forward to seeing you then, and thanks everyone for your time today.